Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it will eat its fruit. And in this season, may I encourage you to speak words of life over situations that look impossible. May I encourage you to speak life over the things that seem that they are out of reach, unapproachable, left for dead. I came today, and to give you the title of my message, I just need to let you know it's not over. Amen. It's not over, because he's Alpha and Omega. He is the and the. So it doesn't really matter what happens in the middle. I'm trying to help somebody. I want to encourage you, because the enemy always comes in the middle. The enemy always comes after the word has been declared. He comes to try to mess up the book of your life. I don't know what your name is. What's your name, sir? The book of Steve. It was already written, but the enemy likes to come mess with the chapters, hoping that you will take his messing as a sign of disfavor from God. But in fact, all he can do is actually add texture to a story that has already been written. The devil can read your story, but he can't write your story, because your story was written by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and he's the only one with a pen. Somebody give our King some glory in here. How many people know that at the moment you're moving towards destiny, the enemy comes, discouragement comes, life happens. All of a sudden there's tension in the marital relationship that was not there before. The children all of a sudden decide they don't want to listen and honor you like they used to. Seems that all kind of drama breaks loose as you're moving towards the conclusion of a miracle. Can I tell you that you're in the middle of a miracle moment? And you can identify a miracle moment by the level of opposition to the thing you're moving towards. So if you've got any opposition, don't think that that's God saying stop. In fact, he's saying keep going. In fact, move forward. In fact, push a little harder. I tell you to keep moving forward. In this season, if the Lord spoke it, you need to not walk towards it. Don't jog towards it. Don't skip towards it. Run towards it. I don't care what the opposition is. Run towards it, because no matter what happened in the past, it's not over. I have set before you an open door that no man can shut. I want you to know, if the door was closed before, it's open now. Where you heard no before, you will hear a prophetic yes in the future. So pursue the calling of God, the gift of God, the dream that God infused in your spirit. Run after it with passion and with diligence and with joy. And I double dog dare you to run with a praise in your mouth. Jesus said, this sickness is not unto death. Then he waited 2 more days, and then he decides to start heading in the direction of what he already spoke. Jesus then asked a strange question. Where have you laid him? I want you to know the thing that you've been believing for, the thing you gave up on, the thing that looks dead. I'm prophetically encouraging you to hear in the spirit the Lord saying, where have you laid it? That dream, where is it? That vision, where is it? That business that didn't make it a couple years ago, where is it? Where's that business plan? How come you haven't finished that book? Who would want to read about my life? Why don't you be obedient first and watch God bring the audience? Because obedience brings the audience. Where have you laid it? For each one of us has been given a calling and a gift and a purpose. God only speaks in one language. It is the language of solutions. You are a solution to a demonic problem in the earth, which means if you don't do it, it won't get done. It's time for you to get that dream, dust it off, bring it back before the Lord. And Lord, this is where I laid it. I thought it was over. I thought it could never happen. But I declare right now that you've got the power to resurrect. You've got the power to breathe life into it. Son of man, can these bones live? Prophesy to the bones. It's time for you to get your words and begin to point them back into the direction of the thing you thought could never be resurrected. Because sometimes your dream is so big and crazy that people will think you're a Looney Tune for believing it. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself Pray over your children. Pray over that business. It's not over. Jesus spoke to Lazarus specifically, and we know why. He was in a graveyard. And if he had just said, come forth, everything dead would have gotten up. But I want you to know that Jesus is specific with your miracle. He knows who you are and where you are and what you're walking through. And the plan of God cannot be stopped by circumstance. 4 days dead and stinking, and he came up out of that grave like he was in the Thriller video with Michael Jackson, and they unwrapped him. They said, loose him and let him go. And I declare over Gateway this afternoon that God has loosed your purpose, and he is pushing you in the direction of destiny. It's not over. It's just beginning. Go ahead and get your joy, get your smile, get your worship, get your praise, because this is the moment you've been waiting on. And if you believe it, give God a great praise.